Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, Eco Girl in a Modern World. It has been a minute. It's been a hot minute. It's been more than 6 months, and I'm so sorry. This channel is just something that I like to do as a side, side channel that I have. But I am very passionate about how you can live more sustainably in a modern world. So again, Eco Girl in a Modern World. I definitely I strive to, find ways of being more environmentally conscious in the way that we live, and to do it in a modern way. Because unfortunately, all you can do is do your best and then try to be the change that you wish to see. So the last video we had actually left off around Christmas time, and so we were talking about feathers and puffer coats, and I wanted to kind of bridge in. I was going to do another video. I'd had another video planned about Christmas decorations, and believe it or not, I have all of the footage filmed, and I ran into tech issues. So the video never happened, and it was 6 months ago. So I will circle back to it around the holiday time. I promise I'm going to try to do these videos more often. They are a labor of love. It takes a lot of time and energy for any of the content creators on YouTube. It takes time and energy, and I know my videos are not as polished. It's just me talking on my camera, but this is something that I strive to put out, and quality content. So we will circle back to decorations. It was a really cool video. It just didn't work out, and but it seems like I have been very preoccupied with fashion lately, and I thought that that might be a good video topic to talk about, since we are getting into, this is posting at the beginning of the summer, and I had just really seen it. I've seen a lot of news articles that talk about an important subject, which is clothing. And so I wanted to do a video about fast fashion and about how to be, in a modern context, how to be more eco-conscious, because it's a difficult subject. Everything environmentally sustainable is difficult. There's so many areas of there's shades of gray in everything that we do, but every little bit helps. Now, what really got me on my soapbox about this, and this has been a little while coming, is that it was actually predicted back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, when the first Earth Day came out, it was predicted that, the population will explode at some point. And we're really, in our lifetime, in Generation X, Millennial, Generation Z, and eventually Generation Alpha, every, person, having a child, it's like a branching of a tree. It makes the population become bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's hypocritical of any generation that came before us, to say, oh, okay, we lived through the 80s. It was a time of excess. We made everything out of plastic. We made everything disposable. It was really wasteful. So what you have is, we're looking at the bridge of a generation, a population boom, because millennials are the millennial generation is just as big as the boomer generation. And then Gen Z is the new, the consumer generation that is spending the most money right now. And we all have our spending habits based on, how we grew up, and we're going to talk about this more in a minute, because that's important. The way that you spend money determines the quality of things that you buy, and the quality of the things you buy ultimately is what ends up in landfills, or, how we handle the end life of those products. So here today, we're going to focus on fashion, because that's a big one, and I'm a Libra, and I understand. I love looking good, and everyone loves to look good, right? So to begin, in a perfect bridge, people like to look good. It's funny, whenever you talk about eco-friendly fashion, you think that you have to look like, like you came out of, You know, I always think of, if you've ever seen the Matrix movies, you know, Zion, you know, the place, the post-apocalyptic future that's based in the center of the earth. Everyone went underground and everyone's just wearing, like, you know, gunny sacks and, you know, that fashion doesn't have to look that way. It really doesn't. You can be environmentally friendly and not look that way. And actually, it's funny, I'll put up a few quotes. One of the fashion designers, Stella McCartney, talks about that a lot too. She's like, just because you're environmentally focused doesn't mean that you have to look like like you're wearing a bed sheet. You know, fashion doesn't have to be dull. The other thing I think of is, if you've ever read The Hunger Games, you know, like, Sector 13, you know, same thing, you know, post-apocalyptic future, you know, we don't want to get there. And we don't have to look that way now. We don't. And that's the perception. That's the perception number one. And we can counter that. Now, the news that really got me to do this video, the news that kind of alarmed me, is that we're seeing a bloom, like an explosion of fast fashion. And fast fashion is, with the advent of social media. With the advent of social media, it used to be, not even 20 years ago, you had fashion designers going to Paris and showing their collections to the populace. And you might see those collections in magazines. You might see those collections on page 6 of the newspaper. You might see the celebrities, the movie stars, the musicians wearing this fashion, and then it kind of trickled down. So, you know, the boomer generation, the Gen X generation, we all got our music, we got our content, we got our fashion suggested to us from, you know, MTV, cable, you know, more mass, you know, channeled, and, you know, bigger structure. There were bigger structures of social influence that kind of filtered down to us. And so that is there, you know, it's amazing. I have a minor in social degree, like a social influence. And there's an author called McLuhan, who used to say the media is the message. And the media sells. Media sells. And when you have older generations where the media that we were exposed to was on the television, through cable, through magazines, which are becoming obsolete now, or through newspapers, or seeing celebrities, or, you know, anyone who would have their picture taken, you know, which 20 years ago, that would mean you'd have to be famous to have your picture taken and seen by everyone. Now that has done a parallel shift. Social media made every human being walking the planet a brand. Everybody has cameras on their phones, so anyone can snap a picture of you at any time. So therefore, the perception of you is based on your appearance. And every child born from 2000, you know, Millennial, Gen Z, they want to look good. That's why the makeup industry has exploded. Also, influencers has exploded. Instead of having 4 seasons with the runway where you can see something walking down, you know, the big names, you know, Yves Saint Laurent, you know, Balenciaga, you know, Chanel, you know, instead of seeing, you know, instead of them being the gatekeepers of what is popular, whomever is on TikTok, whomever is on Instagram, that dress that they're wearing that looks good on them, which is very cultivated. And, you know, you can see videos about how these pictures are taken. It's, you know, for every 25 outtakes, there's that one perfect one, even though that picture could have been taken through a Dixie cup, you know, it looks the certain way. So what happens is, instead of having one collection be the it thing, anything an influencer gets to be it, you know, popular. You know, in the 20s, they talk about Clara Bow being the it girl. Every influencer that has a camera on their phone can suggest or post a picture of something and make it the new it thing. So now the fashion industry doesn't hold the control anymore. The control is with the influencers, and the influencers could either find this dress through fast fashion, or they can find it vintage. The influencers are driving, it's splitting the fashion industry into what is produced and what is popular. And what happens is, so traditional fashion, when when you see New York City or Paris and they talk about Fashion Week, they've, those fashion magazines and those, fashion houses have predicted. They said, okay, we're going to put this on the runway. Hopefully people are going to like it, and we're going to start mass producing it. So when after that model one walks down the runway, someone can buy it or something like it. Now, what happens is fast fashion makes it where they have to recreate what is popular. And because influencers have come in, and it's not a bad thing, it just is what it is. Because influencers on the drop, on a turn of a dime, drop of a dime, they can go off into left field and make something else popular. So what's happening is, instead of just having, like what's going down the runway is, pleated skirts, cutout dresses, maxi skirts, and, bright colors. And then this influencer over here says, no, I like the preppy look. Here's my sweater vest. Now you have the sweater vest that is it and happening and everybody wants, but it's not produced yet. It's not created on a mass scale. And you've got big populations, generations, millennials, Gen Z, who want to purchase that product. And they drive the economy because it's their buying dollar. Now, what happens is, we've gone from having like 12 seasons of clothes that, it used to be like, I think 12 or 14 seasons of clothes that were predicted. That's the old way. The new way now is 26 seasons, meaning that the prediction of what's going to be popular has duplicated, triplicated. And what the fast fashion companies want to do is, they want to make the money. They want to kick out these clothes cheaply. So they will watch the influencers, or they will pay the influencers to wear their clothes. They'll send the cheap clothes to them, and to try to get it popular so their stuff sells. Now, what we're looking at here in the problem is the millennial generation is as big as the boomer generation, and they are getting it close to their 30s. So they're not as trendy. They will want to, they're going into the zone where they're wearing more traditional clothes. Now, Gen Zers are still young. They're late teens, early 20s. And they do want something trendy. They do want something, that looks different and hip and individual, because fashion's about that. It's about your individuality. Fashion defines what you wear, says about you. Everyone's got cameras. Everyone's a brand. So what's my brand? And what I'm wearing defines that. And we post everything on social media. So it's the other thing is the changeability of that too. A lot of Gen Zers do not want to be seen in the same thing twice. So, we've got major problems. We got this, explosion of population. Now, the other thing is that millennials and Gen Z, they grew up in a time of recession. Around 2008, when these kids were about 8 or 10 years old, we had a housing bubble pop where they know what it's like to have to scrimp or save money. And honestly, nowadays with inflation and everything else, they don't want to spend a whole lot of money because they have other things that they need to spend their money on. So that plays into it too. One of the biggest concerns, and actually statistically proven, is that Gen Zs don't want to spend a whole lot. They want to look good, they want to look up to date, but they don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Now, where this translates environmentally, and this is where it's like all these factors compress and make a really, really big problem, is that fast fashion houses to produce something cheaply, it's that 99% of the time, that garment is going to be polyester, it's going to be nylon, it's going to be synthetic fibers. And if you watch my fabrics video, synthetic fibers are the worst. They are the worst. First off, it's oil. Polyester, you know, and again, go back to in my recycling video, I talk about, is it a dead fish or is it a dead seaweed? But we are extracting, we are crippling our planet with the way that we are extracting, you know, it's polyurethane, it's gas, it's oil. And we don't have much oil to begin with. We're paying high premiums for gas, but the alternative is that we're taking this oil and turning it into polyester. We're turning it into single-use forks that we use once and throw away. Now, the problem with this is that any synthetic fiber, anything that is synthetic, nylon, lycra, damn near everything that stretches it's gonna be about 50 to 750 years in the ground, and that entire time it's going to be leaching chemicals into our ground and to our water, which we don't have much of either. So I'm going to get past the gloom and doom in a minute, but fast fashion is horrible because first off, it wants cheap fabrics, so it's going to use polyester, it's going to use lycra, it's going to use all these things that are horrible for our environment, that is not going to break down in your lifetime, in the next lifetime. And the other thing that Gen Z really remembers is, if you care about the future, I know this is your livelihood, you know, and again, it's hypocritical of us, anyone who grew up in the 80s or 90s, it's hypocritical of us to say, oh, okay, well, you can't dress the way that you want to, even though we had every plastic toy known to man. But it's really important because your children's children will be dealing with the consequences of what you're wearing now. So that's how you got to think. But, you know, polyester, you know, it's petroleum. Petroleum is gas. And we're already, you know, we're fracking to get that gas. We're accessing a pipeline in Alaska that we really shouldn't. We're looking at about 100 years and we're already paying premium for it now. Let's not wear our gas. Let's put the gas into our cars and let's drive less. That's the solution. Now, the other thing that's horrible about fast fashion is that it is slave labor. No one who creates fast fashion is paid a living wage. And I'm going to post a few videos in the thing, and be prepared. And again, I'll get past the gloom and doom. There are solutions to this, and we're going to talk about this. You do not need to look like you live underground or in a post-apocalyptic future. That's not the solution anyway. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But fast fashion is really a horrible industry. All of our clothes that we don't wear, the moment that you wear it once and then you don't need it anymore, or worse off, it's sitting in your closet with the tag still on it, and then you throw it away, that is going into a landfill, and more importantly, it's going to other countries, and it's affecting their land quality, their water quality, and they're getting paid nothing to create that garment in the first place. So there's a few videos that I'm going to post in the, you know, in the description box. When you're in a good place, you have to gear up to watch it, but it's a really good watch though. It's nothing too horrible. It's not to guilt trip you, but it's just to be honest. Before you walk into that fast fashion or click the buy button, and there's solutions at the end of this video, and I'll timestamp all of that. But there's better ways that we can do this, and we have to be conscious about it, okay? But it gets fun in a minute, don't worry. But fast fashion's really bad. Most of the materials are not good. They don't pay anyone a living wage. And all it's going to do is it's becoming wasteful with the sheer speed, you know, of it, and the way that we're just throwing it out without even wearing it. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, what really got me on my high horse with this is because I know fast fashion is out there, and honestly, I'm going to do roll call right now. The biggest culprits with this is Forever 21, H&M, Zara. That's really bad. And last and definitely top of the list, Shein. Shein is horrible. They are not transparent with any of their how these fashions are being produced, and it's most likely in other countries. And there are programs that certify how your clothes are made. And the quality of the clothes is not good. You wear it once, you can watch videos that talk about shoes melting. You didn't even wear it once. It disintegrated or ripped, or and that's one of the pros that we're going to see in a minute, and we're going to talk about. There's other ways that you can do this more sustainably. And it's not the end of the world. It's very doable. It's very doable. We'll talk about it. But those are the worst. And what really, the video that kind of triggered me on all this is that a little while ago, it was probably last year, TikTok, which I don't watch all the time, but I get sucked into it. But TikTok had a video about RushTok, which is the college sororities rushing. And there's, just like any social media platform, there's an algorithm, and somehow RushTok, which I believe was the University of Alabama, all the girls from a college in the South, they were posting their outfits as they were pledging or applying to sororities to be accepted. And somehow in the algorithm of TikTok, it got pushed to the top where their videos were being offered to everyone. And it was, hashtag RushTok. But what really triggered me, and not, I love watching the videos are entertaining. I'm not shading anyone. It's just they have an outfit of the day, an OOTD. And the whole list was just fast fashion, and it was, oh, dress from Shein. No one was talking about the quality of the dress. No one was talking about what the dress was made of. And it really just seemed like everybody had duplicates of everything, and again, we're going to talk about this in a minute. The solutions talk about what you can do to be a modern person dealing with fashion concerns. Now, the other thing that I kind of see both on YouTube and on TikTok that's a little disturbing is you see these fashion hauls, HAULs. Girls, come up with an armful of clothes they were either given from those top 5 fast fashion terrible places, and they try them on, and it's marketing. They're either given the clothes for free, or they purchase the clothes to show them off in some kind of sponsorship to get them to sell, because it's what these fast fashion houses have on hand and stock that they need to pan off. Now, in the video that I'm posting below, it actually talks to people who do inventory on their closets, and we talked about that in the fabrics video too. I talked about doing an intervention on your closet, and it can be very slow, where you just comb through and you say, okay, what is this made of? How often do I wear this? Kind of like a Marie Kondo. Does this spark joy, And believe me, I have polyester things that I've paid $100 for that are going to stay in my closet because I need to get more use out of it, and it's already purchased. But as you move forward, moving over to natural fibers is more of a solution. But watching these hauls, watching these girls who spend so much money on clothes that are just trendy. They're trendy. They're not staples. And we're going to talk about staples in a minute. That is really, really not good. And if you get a chance, watch that video. Fast fashion is horrific. And with the number of people that we have, and believe me, I know you want to look good, and we're going to talk about looking good in just a minute. But, we can't continue on that path. You can't just wear it once, throw it away. It'll be 750 years, and it'll be using petroleum. It'll be using gas that we only have for about 100 more years, and that's us wasting it the way that we are. It's no good. No bueno. Don't do that. We don't want to be looking like we're living in, Hunger Games, region 13 or whatever. Don't send us there. Don't send us there prematurely. Let's try to dig out of the hole first, right? But that was kind of what got me on my soapbox. And it's funny, I haven't been here on YouTube too much, but over on my personal platforms, I really got a fire under me about it. I was like, outfit of the day. You're showing off your haul, you're showing off what you got, how good you look, but you're not talking about any of the important factors. So let's get into that now. Let's talk about solutions. There was a wonderful article I'll also post below that was by, I believe, Harper's Bazaar, that talked about how to shop more sustainably. And it's easier than you can imagine. It's so easy. It's so easy. But to shop more sustainably, first and foremost, first rule is don't buy anything you don't need. Try to monitor impulse. Impulse is a big deal because that, I think impulse really fuels buying off Instagram or buying from influencers. And it's not bad. If you see something that's high quality from an influencer, go for it. But before you go for it, let's think about this. The first thing is, am I buying this on impulse? You really want to stop and think, almost like the Marie Kondo on your closet. You got to think, okay, will this bring me joy? And that's hard to do in the digital age because you're seeing a picture of it and you're seeing how it looks on the influencer or on the model, and it might not look good on you. So we'll get into a little bit more of that in just a minute. But basically, first thing that you want to say is, do I need it? Do I already have something like this? Because that's another thing. Okay, we'll go in order here. Impulse. Impulse is a selling thing. Just like when you go up to the checkout line, if you go to the grocery store, you know how they have all the candy right at the checkout line. Same thing when I go into a grocery store and they have all the cute toys or the seasonal stuff right up front. Those are impulse buys. They're trying to get you to just throw down the money. Same thing with that too. You think, oh, okay, I'm just going to buy it because it looks great on this person. You don't know if it looks good on you. You don't know what it's made of, and we'll get into that in a minute. And you're just throwing down your money for the way that it looks. Now, the other thing about impulse is that it is dopamine in the brain. Shopping, the reason shopping is so huge for everyone, not just women, not just men, anyone, is that it gives you a sense of satisfaction. And that, you know, it really does. You talk about retail therapy. And after the last 2 years coming out of a pandemic, you know, all of the things that we've been through, it feels really darn good to look good. And you think, oh, okay, if I buy that, I'll look like that influencer. I'll look like that picture right there, that curated, perfect, you know, probably taken through a Dixie cup, that vignette with all the soft edges. I'm going to look like that, right? And so you do think about impulse. Think about, you know, also one habit I like to do is that I do not, if something costs more than like $30, I will wait 24 hours. I try to give myself one whole day to say, okay, do I still want it? One other thing, and if you feel like the item is going to be gone in 24 hours, you can, you know, of course, use your best judgment. You know, you're an adult, or, you know, you're a practical person. But I like to wait a day and think, okay, one other way that I kind of think about it, when I go to shop for things, I'll kind of put it on my wish list. Like if it's Amazon or I shop a lot off eBay, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll kind of put it on my watch list. And it's funny, I'll wait one day, and if I'm just going about my life, if I'm cleaning my house, or if I'm walking outside, or I'm just going about my business, and that item pops back up in my head without me having to think about it, if I think, oh gosh, you know, I still want that, that probably is something that you really will want or need. If you forget about it pretty much 30 minutes after you really, really wanted it, that's probably not the thing that you really need. The other thing is avoid duplicates. You know, some people, I've read this online all the time. People will go, oh, I ended up buying another pair of brown khaki shorts. I already have 3 pairs. Out of sight, out of mind is a real dangerous area, and it happens. You know, believe me, I have a storage bin for my winter clothes that I rotate out with my summer clothes. So sometimes the other thing I like to do is before I go to buy something new, I really like to take inventory, you know, especially if you find yourself giving away or donating clothes. That becomes a problem because, you know, you got to ask, where is this coming from? And again, you know, it gives you a dopamine hit when you buy something. So you got to think about, okay, why am I shopping? Is it really to clothe my body, or is it giving me something? You know, is it giving me a source of joy that I'm not finding somewhere else? So sometimes it gets a little deep like that. But avoid duplicates. if you're going out, the other thing is organization helps a lot with that too. If you find that you're going to buy another pair of aviator sunglasses or the square sunglasses because they're trendy or something, but you, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I thought I already had a pair, but you can't find them. That's a little bit of a danger sign, right? And there's actually really great videos here on YouTube that talk about that too. There's about how to declutter and how to do it sustainably. You know, definitely do an inventory and make sure that you're not getting duplicates of something. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. I do have two white linen shirts that I use, but it's almost like I trade them out. You know, the moment I wear one, I trade it out for another. But be careful not to get into a danger zone where you're just shopping and buying the same thing over and over again, and it's giving you some kind of validation. Now, the next thing is pop your tags. Pop those tags. And if you're shopping online, which a lot more, and this is going to pertain more to the other generations. I'm not trying to make this a generational thing, but the newer generation, the reason cancel culture exists is because everyone can buy something online, and that's where that fast fashion really gets its mojo, its momentum from, is clicking the mouse and, you know, add to cart. Add to cart is easy. But what you want to do is, before you add to cart, hit that little plus symbol next to materials. Like, what is this made of? Materials and care. Make that your first click. Click on that and see what it is that it's made of. And be very cautious of anyone who doesn't have the materials listed. Why don't you have the materials listed? Is it 100% acrylic, which is horrible? Please check the materials video that I did. Acrylic's bad. Every time you wash it, it sheds microplastics that get into our water supply. And not to freak anyone out, I saw an article the other day that talked about microplastics being found in people's bloodstreams. So it's getting bad. We do not want it in our water. We don't want it in our fish. We don't want it in our wildlife. Best way to do that is to pop those tags. Look at what your materials are made of, and don't let it shed into our water supply, because you're washing something synthetic. So polyester and acrylic, those are the top two. Danger will, no, you know, no. The next thing is nylon, lycra, anything that is not organic fibers. So the next thing that you really want to look for is, you want to look for organic cotton. Now, the difference is, I'm very pro cotton in itself, just because the difference between organic cotton, and I'll post a really great video that talks about the differences. I'm also going to post a video down below. There's going to be a lot of links there, but about the life cycle of a t-shirt. But organic cotton is grown without any pesticides and with as little water as possible. And organic, cotton is a very thirsty plant. It takes a lot of water to cultivate, and a lot of times people say, oh, well, it's easier to produce polyester because regular cotton takes so much pesticides, takes so much water, and all that goes into the water supply. So let's just go polyester. It's easier. But polyester doesn't biodegrade. It's going to be in landfills. If you wear it once, throw it into the garbage, or, it's got a bad end life. It'll be there for 750 years, and the entire time it's going to be leaching chemicals into the ground, into the water. Regular cotton is a better alternative, even though it has pesticides on it. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Organic cotton would be your best bet. Your best bet. Now, just to throw it out there real quick, there is a website called goodonyou.com that has a great mobile interface. What you can do is you can look up the name of the maker of your clothes, and there's a grading scale. Like, can they do better or can they do worse? Basically, do they pay their workers a living wage? How transparent are they on their manufacturing and recycling? How are they conscious of their end life? And you would be surprised. Of course, the fast fashion brands are at the end of the spectrum. They're not very poor. A few mid-range ones are not the best. It's funny, Levi's has a great recycling program. They've been in business more than 120 years, and they have a do better rating they're not the best. You know, even though I have a pair of short towels from there that is cotton, 100% cotton, they're not, again, they're still dealing in regular cotton. They might not be 100% transparent with what they pay their workers. They have a great recycling program. You can send clothes back to them, but the problem is there is areas they can do better. Now, it's good to visit that website of your conscience about if you want to get more, you know, well versed on where your clothes are coming from, and that's important. But first and foremost, you want to make sure that if you're going to buy something new, check out goodonyou.com to see, okay, how responsible is this? Try to go for cotton. Try to go for organic cotton if you can. It will be more expensive. Try to go for PIMA, P-I-M-A cotton. If all else fails, and we're going to talk secondhand in a minute, go for regular cotton, because at least that still biodegrades. You know, it takes more pesticides and it takes more water, but it's a natural fiber. And definitely watch the video about the life cycle of a t-shirt, because the other thing is that even after you go for the organic fiber, the cost of shipping it around the world has a carbon footprint. So if it's brand new, we're still paying money to have it sitting on cargo ships. You're still paying money to have it flown from another country. So we got problems, but let's focus on one at a time. The next one that you might want to look for as well is hemp. Hemp is fantastic. One other byproduct of cotton, whether it's organic or, you know, regular cotton, is that it pulls a lot of nutrients from the ground. You know, farmers or anyone who's well versed with what do you call it, composting, you know that after you grow one type of plant, it's good to sometimes grow a different type of plant after it, so you can replenish the ground. A little known fact, just so you know, the reason that the Dust Bowl, like if you heard about the 1920s when the Midwest, everyone was over farming, but they were farming the same things, like they were farming corn, they were farming potatoes, they never changed up their crop. So it completely depleted the nutrients, and then they couldn't grow anything after that because they pretty much killed the soil. You have to have, there's this, you know, life is a food web, you know, and it made the land so dusty that you couldn't grow anything. So that's what caused the Dust Bowl. Same principle. When you grow cotton, you have to grow a different plant after it. Otherwise, you're depleting all the nutrients, and then nothing else will grow there. So, but hemp does not have that problem. Hemp is very low water. You don't need any pesticides. It's naturally it's a naturally insect repellent on its own, and it doesn't deplete the ground. You can grow hemp, you know, you can continue to grow hemp. I've seen for a pretty long time, and the fiber is really nice. The fiber is wonderful. Now, the other thing that you can look for is definitely look for silk. Which is not vegan. It's cruel to spiders, but it is a natural fiber that's very breathable. Linen, which is from the flaxseed plant. That will be more expensive. It's not as water intensive as cotton, but it breathes. The other thing is all these fibers breathe really well. Polyester is like wearing a plastic bag. It doesn't breathe, and it can sometimes cause skin irritation because it's a chemical that you have against your body that you're sweating against, and even, you know, trapping moisture. Even if it's one of those, you know, breathe right ones, doesn't matter, right? But you know, go for natural fibers, you know, go for linen, go for hemp, go for silk, go for cotton, go for organic cotton. And, you know, hemp is a real big one. I really hope there's a revolution with using hemp, because it looks like a really good bet. What else to look for? And try to be a patron. If you are going to buy new, try to, you know, go to goodonyou.com and see the practices. There's definitely some great companies out there like PACT, P-A-C-T, you know, Organic Basics, you know, all of that is wonderful. Now, the next thing that you really want to think about is if you want to be fashion conscious. So we talked about sustainability. You know, ask yourself, do you need it? The biggest thing is, you know, sometimes our shopping habits are covering up a bigger void, a need. You know, avoid buying duplicates, buy organic fabrics, buy organic fabrics, buy organic, pop those tags, pop those tags. And then the next thing that you really want to talk about is buy secondhand. There's such a stigma about buying secondhand, but it's becoming more popular. The Real, you know, that's a website that sells, you know, high-end, you know, refurbished, you know, barely worn clothing. You know, it's amazing with all of this trend of, well, let me wear this once so I look good, but then, you know, you either throw it away or, you know, one other downside is even if you donate your clothes, there's there's some scary statistics out there that even if you donate the clothes, you know, some Goodwill or, you know, donation places, they only put out about 9% of the clothing, and then the rest goes into landfills anyway. So the best way is to either sell the clothes, or, you know, when you buy clothing, buy it secondhand. Buy it secondhand. First off, it's so much more. You talk about the whole purpose of going on Instagram and looking trendy, you know, you're stating your individuality. And what states your individuality better than finding a unique piece that there's only one of and you lucked out and found it and it looks great on you. The other thing is a lot of these fashions is I never say this word right, cylindrical, meaning it always recycles itself. It always comes back around. You know, in the 90s, we wanted to look like the 60s. Right now, Y2K is coming back. The 80s had a, yeah, I know. Actually, I got these on eBay. These are vintage 1987 earrings. I know, the 80s called and won their earrings back. $10 on eBay. They're original from the 1980s. And I'm going to show you my outfit in a minute. But if you go on eBay, if you go on ThredUp, if you go on Mercari, if you go, it is hip to buy secondhand. And I'm going to post another really cute video. Another YouTube person talked about the benefits, like what she gets out of vintage shopping. And it's slow fashion. And it's so wonderful. You are investing in pieces and that are uniquely you, that you're not going to see on anyone else, that you kind of had the treasure hunt of finding, you know, and you can do that online. You don't have to go to a thrift store. If you know, we're still social distancing. I love eBay. I love eBay. Now, eBay isn't always verified with everything, but there's also really good videos on what to look for. You know, definitely utilize ratings for sellers, you know, and the other thing that's in here, I'll get into that in a minute. Sorry, not trying to make this video a million years long, but buying secondhand has so many benefits. Now, one, Emma Watson, who the actress, the Harry Potter actress, is actually a huge advocate of you know, recycling and buying secondhand. She talks a lot, you know, she had a wonderful quote that said, you know, anytime you buy something secondhand, you know, that you're making that carbon footprint go longer, right? If you watch that video about the life cycle of a t-shirt, if you're buying a t-shirt from 20 years ago that's still around, that t-shirt's already created. We've already flown it across the Atlantic to get to you. Make it, you know, wear it out, make it last. You know, all you're doing, you know, fashion is, we're just trying to look like the 90s now anyway. Buy something from the 90s. I actually bought a polka dot dress from the maker Delia's, and Delia's was a popular catalog. They're no longer in business, but they were in the 90s when I was a teenager. I love this dress, and it's 100% cotton. It's from the 90s. Anytime you buy something secondhand, there's no, the carbon footprint is always zero because it's not newly created. You're extending its life. And so we're going to talk about the commandments in just a minute, but that's the way you want to go. Buy secondhand. It's also money efficient. You know, the generation, you know, the reason, half the biggest excuse, and I hate to say it, the biggest excuse we have is, well, it's too expensive to buy quality things, so let me just pay, you know, the cheap price for something that's polyester and cheaply made. and that won't buy at a rate that I'll probably throw away with the tag still on. That's not acceptable, guys. We got to do better than that. And you don't, $10 on eBay. The shirt that I'm wearing is 100% linen. I got it for $10 on eBay. And I looked it up on Good On You. The price point was, it was one of the do better brands, but it was not the poor brand. It was not, and it breathes like a dream. So buy secondhand, guys. That's a huge thing. Buy secondhand. Honestly, I follow a really wonderful thread on YouTube that's called I Love Thrifting. And gosh, guys, I live vicariously. People post the stuff that they find. People look stylish as hell. All these trends that are flying around, like wearing, color blocking and wearing bright clothes or wearing polka dots, whatever trend, those 26 micro seasons that we're talking about, I'm seeing it on my thrift thread, and people are rocking the hell out of it. And it is secondhand that they got for $5 or $8. They piece their outfit together. They look stylish. They look individual. And just about every single one of those outfits are extending the life. There's no carbon footprint because that was created 10 years ago and you're keeping it out of a landfill. That's the way you want to go. Buy secondhand. Now, one caveat is that even though I am anti-polyester, I will never buy synthetic fibers new. I refuse to do that. Now, I do have a little caveat where I will buy it secondhand. So, like, for instance, there was a yellow trench coat that I really wanted. And it's probably from about 3 years ago. And it is polyester. But by me buying it secondhand, it's not created new. It's already in creation. I'm keeping it out of the landfill, and I'm going to get wear of it. So I'm a little bit more lenient if you buy it secondhand, but I will never buy synthetic fibers new because we need to keep those out of the landfills, and we don't want to be using petroleum for that crap. So, but buying secondhand lets you look stylish, and I love that trench. It's a little bit of a Detective Pikachu / Dick Tracy thing, but I'm into color blocking lately. That's my thing. Believe me, you don't have to look like you live underground to be stylish. So buying secondhand goes a long way. Follow those threads that talk about thrifting. You get a lot of inspiration. The other thing is you're being uniquely you. You can rock your Instagram with all thrifted items. And it's cost effective, guys. Cost effective. Even now, there is a little bit of a carbon footprint with it being mailed to you. That's the only other thing, is that when I buy things off eBay, sometimes those things come in a lot of plastic packaging, which I don't like. But just the other day, I bought some earrings, and I'm going to show you in a minute, and they came in one of those paper recyclable mailers. I was so excited. And I am going to do a video about packaging and mailing, how we can go in a better direction. But again, do what you can. Another really great, there's another channel here on YouTube. The creator is named Shelley. I love her name. She has a wonderful slogan. She says, do your best and advocate for the rest. So, we're making strides. We're going in the right direction. So buying secondhand, that's the best thing. Now, the last thing that we can talk about that really bridges into this. So you can save money, buy vintage, buy secondhand, go to your thrift shops if you want. Real quick, when you go to thrift stores, just bear in mind a few things. Going to thrift store takes a lot of time. It's not easy. You're not just going to walk in, you say, oh, I need I want a, houndstooth blazer, let me walk in. It's more of a treasure hunt, and it is time intensive. Now, and you might not find what you're looking for. But the other thing is you find a lot of treasures that are surprising, though, too. Sometimes you can step out of your comfort zone with what you think you can wear. The other thing is that I do not advocate for you. There's a few things that I do not advocate for you buying secondhand. I would not advise that you buy any underwear. Do not buy underwear secondhand. First off, I don't think thrift stores even accept that, but you don't know what people have going on, downtown. Don't do it. I don't believe in buying bras secondhand either, just because I know personally a lot of bras are made from synthetic materials, and the same thing, when it's held against the body, even if it was worn once, we don't know how long it was worn for. It traps sweat against the body, and that can have bacteria and other nasties. I don't buy bras or underwear, or I stay away from lingerie that way too. You know, bedclothes, you gotta be careful with that. Swimsuits, same thing. I mean, even if it's a top or a bottom, you don't know who's worn it. You don't know when it's that close to the body or your privates. I don't advocate for buying that too much. I try to stay away from pants depending on how tight they are. You know, if they're a pair of, you know, hot pants, hell no. But, you know, looser pants, and, you know, I might go for. The other thing is shoes. Shoes are a big one. And again, there's videos here on YouTube to talk about what to look for when you're buying secondhand, because, you know, it would be the same principles when you're looking at, you know, when you're buying firsthand. You know, you kind of have to look at it. But if you are looking to buy shoes, it's probably better to go to the thrift store, because you can actually pick up and look at it. But, you know, that takes time, takes energy. It's a little bit of it's a treasure hunt when you go to the store itself. But online, you really want to look at the tread. You really want the pictures. You want to look at the reviews to see how, you know, how transparent, how honest and upfront the seller is about it. Because if shoes were really only worn once or twice, you can kind of tell the tread would be intact. It would look new. You don't see any dirt on the footbed. Because that's the other thing is, you know, you think about sweating around, you know, your chest and your nether regions. Imagine sweating on your feet. There's a lot of, you know, foot disease that you can get from used shoes. The other thing is that everybody's foot is unique to them. So you could have every person has a different pressure to their foot. You know, some people have bunions, some people have, the way that you wear out a shoe can really hurt your feet if that shoe is already worn to someone else's pattern. So, you know, shoes, it isn't that I've never bought shoes. I bought probably 1 or 2 pairs of shoes, but I could tell that they were really new, and I really scrutinized them, and I haven't had any problems since. But when they arrive, disinfect them real good, make sure that they are what you know want. You know, check the ratings of the seller, and make sure that they take returns if it's not good, you know, if it's not good. Also, just like when you're in a shoe store, you want to walk around in those shoes to make sure that the reason that they weren't sold was because they really chafe, or they're just not comfortable. Now, the last thing with, you know, buying online is that, what you can look for with both buying new, and again, if you're buying new, make sure that make sure it's a reputable company that's selling organic fibers. So if you are buying new, a few things to keep in mind is make sure that I'm sorry, my train of thought is all over the place here, but make sure that the fabric is not a mixed fabric. That goes a long way too. There are recycling companies out there that can take fabric back, but if it's a crossover, like if it's a cotton and acrylic crossover, that garment's probably going to end up in the landfill, because you have to separate it out, and that can't be done. But if it's 100% cotton, that can usually be reused. The other thing that's really great about it is sometimes you can return. You know, a lot of companies are getting on board, you know, like Levi's will take jeans back, and jeans can be turned into insulation. There's really great, it's really cool, guys. Wool can be used for insulation, and it's naturally fire retardant, and jeans can be used for insulation, and it's fabulous. It's creating closed loop circles, which is the direction we want to go. But a lot of places do have recycling. But if you are going to buy something brand new, try to look for organic fibers, you know, cotton, organic cotton, linen, hemp, silk, and try to see if the seller, you know, takes back those programs. One other side note on the taking back thing, you will see that a fast fashion brands, like I think H&M, says that they take their clothes back, but a lot of times they either try to create a new garment, which is really not so good, because a lot of fast fashion is very cheaply made. It wears out quickly. And you can kind of tell if you look at the seams, if it looks like the material, the pattern isn't matching up, it seems flimsy. Again, for all those reasons, if it's cross fibers, if it's cheaply made in the first place, the likelihood of them actually turning that into a new garment is slim. Them donating it, again, only 9% of donated clothes. It's like plastic recycling. Only 6% of plastic really gets recycled. So it's not a good, you know, it's greenwashing in the sense you think that you're giving it back and it's going someplace good, and it might not. But if you buy, you know, quality clothes, if you actually buy quality clothes the first time around, you know, you're getting a good deal. Now, it could cost more, but it's worth it, and definitely look for all-in-one, you know, organic fibers, all 100% that organic fiber. Now, other things that you want to consider, and this is both when you're shopping normally or shopping secondhand, because again, shopping secondhand is wonderful. There was actually a statistic from ThredUp that said when you buy something secondhand, it automatically reduces the carbon footprint of that item by 82%. Now, this is kind of a new statistic. I'm not sure where they got that data from, but that makes sense because, again, for all the things we said, even if you buy it secondhand, if it's mailed to you, that's a carbon. You know, you're paying money for packaging and things like that. But that makes sense. That sounds right. But a few other considerations is know your body. Know your body shape. Know what looks good on you. There's a million great videos here. So again, you don't have to act like you're living underground in order to be environmentally friendly. Watch all the videos that talk about how to style your clothes. Now, the first video I want you to watch is the one about your body shape. Take out a tape measure, measure your shoulders, measure your waist, your hips, and figure out your body shape. And there's great videos. You can just Google it here on YouTube, but the videos will show you what looks best on your body. You know, are you apple shaped? Are you rectangular? Are you hourglass shape? Are you pear shaped, or reverse triangle is what they call it too. Pear-shaped or reverse triangle is the majority. I think about 80% of women, and that's where your shoulders is a little bit, you have a small waist, but your shoulders are a little bit narrower than your hips, so it's kind of a pear. And what you want to do is you want to wear clothes that give you the visual of broadening your shoulders. So that's step number one. Know your body shape so you know what clothes look good on you. The other thing that you can do is know what colors look good on you, because this stuff might look good on the influencer, but the influencer might have a different body shape, right? Now, one thing that I love, I got this book. I found this book a long time ago. It's Life in Color. And it's kind of like a Color Me Beautiful if you're from the 80s generation. But basically, I took this wonderful little test, and what it does is it tells you what colors look good on you. And this has not failed me, y'all. This has not failed me. I'm a star. And what I do is I take a picture of this, and I have gone with all the colors that are here, and it looks fabulous on me. One other thing that you can do is you can kind of hold your hand up to the clothes, and, you know, as you're shopping, or, you know, as you're online, compare it to your color chart. The other thing is really kind of hold your hand up. There's also really great videos that talk about whether or not you're cool undertoned, warm undertone, or neutral. The fastest way is to kind of tell your foundation. If you wear a cool pink undertone, you're probably cool toned. If you wear more olive or green undertone, you're probably more warm. And then there is a neutral. There's a neutral. So, you know, so plenty of videos here on YouTube. Not going to go into a whole lot of detail. The other thing is the fastest way is if you feel like you look better in silver jewelry, which I do, you're a cool undertone. If you look better in gold jewelry, then you're a warm undertone. If you can wear silver and gold, you're probably neutral. So that's a consideration too. But anytime I'm buying something, I like to keep it in the same color family, because, to be honest, if the color isn't flattering on you, guess where it's going to go? It's going to go to the landfill with tags still attached. That's not what we want, right? Now, the other thing is make sure it fits well. You know, in the same vein of dressing for your body, if you get it and it's not the right size, or it itches, and believe me, itching happens with organic fabrics all the time, you know, when you're looking at wool, when you're looking at linen. You know, see, okay, is it scratching me in a place that I don't like? You know, the other thing is tags and, you know, things like that. I have jeans that I have to really pull my underwear up because that tag gets me. But really think about that. So if you're in-store shopping, you know, think about that. Is this fitting me right? So in the same vein as shoes, when you walk around with shoes, if you feel something rubbing, if it's rubbing in the first 3 minutes, it's going to rub you when you're walking 5 miles on your beach trip, right? You know, so, you know, make sure it fits you. Otherwise, it's just contributing to the problem. Now, last but not least, and again, you know, we cannot make this change overnight. We can't with wishing make our entire closet organic fabrics. We can't undo the fact that these clothes have already been created, right? But what we can do is we can use them, use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. And the way that you can do that is the 30 wears test. The 30 wears test is, if I buy this, so that's another thing, same vein as impulse buying. If I buy this, will I wear it at least 30 times? If the answer is no, you probably want to save your money and save the environment and not buy it. The other thing is the clothes you already have. Again, I have polyester tops, and I'm not proud, but you know, before I really got into it and said, this is what I'm going to do, I bought, because that's what's on the market, synthetic clothes. The pants I'm wearing right now are probably, I think, 100% synthetic, but I've worn them a million times, and they cinch me at the waist, make me look all pretty. So, you know, what you have to do is you have to wear your clothes out. If you already have that polyester item, you have to wear it 30 times or more. If you are going to buy something, even if it's organic, even if it's brand new, you know, if it's the trendy new thing, what was it just the other day? Aviator fashion has been real in, and I've been looking at it and going, ooh, you know, I got all, you know, hard eyes, like, oh, that looks great. I saw this aviator jumpsuit. It definitely looks 80s. If you've ever seen the 80s television show V, it was an alien show. It's like these shoulder pads, and believe me, for my body shape, it probably make me look really good. It's like, you know, like triangle shaped. It broadens the shoulders and narrows at the waist, but it's like this aviator jumpsuit that has big pockets right here on the breast. It looks good on the mannequin. It looks good in the store. I would buy it and probably not wear it 30 times. So 30 wears rule is very important. If you buy something, wear it 30 with the intention of wearing it 30 times or more. That goes for jewelry, that goes for pants. It goes for the clothes you already have in your closet, especially if those clothes are synthetic. If you've got polyester, if you've got acrylic, try not to wash them as often to avoid the microplastics, but wear them out. That is your service to the environment. Wear what you already have. Try not to buy anything else unless you need it, and wear 30 times or more what you already have. So that's a big one. 30 wears test is one of the main rules that you can follow that will really go a long way. Now, last but not least, and I know we covered a lot today, is that when you wear, when you wear something over and over and over again, those become your staples. So having staples in a wardrobe, the main reason that we end up with all this fashion that goes into a landfill is that we end up buying the pretty pieces, right? Because again, it looked good on the influencer, it looked good on the mannequin, and it gave us that hit. Oh, I would look so stylish if I wore that. But the problem is that in real life, I would be wearing the aviator jumpsuit once, and then after that, it's like your wedding dress. Am I going to wear that to the grocery store, right? But those staple pieces you will wear every day, the white linen top, the linen shorts, the black tank top, the white tank top, the gold chain that doesn't have any embellishment, the real simple, classic, polished kind of look. If you do get a maxi dress, get a cotton one that because dresses are a big one, I've noticed, and I'm guilty too. When I go through my closet, the first thing I look at is, okay, the other thing is when you do go to your closet, ask yourself, have I worn this in the last 2 years? You know, if the things that you wear darn near every day or every week are going to be your staple pieces. They're going to be the embellishment, the embellishment pieces are going to be what stand out. You know, so if you're wearing a white tank top, but you've got your linen shorts and you got your statement earrings, if you got your bright sweater, the sweater is the statement piece, but everything under it is your staples. So really look at your staples first and make sure, ask yourself, okay, will I wear this 30 times, or is it just one dress that I think would look cool for this one? The other thing is when you buy a dress for an occasion, and believe me, it's summertime, you know, oh, that would look adorable at the picnic or at the barbecue, or I got this wedding, and then you wear it once and never wear it again. Again, if you buy it secondhand, the other thing, that other trend I'm seeing a lot is renting clothes, which is kind of a different concept. And knuckle tap Gen Z for that concept, because that is not even, you know, you can count us old folks out of that decision. I think that's really cool and very proactive. Is if you know that you just want to look cool for one day and you don't want it to be in a landfill, you can rent your outfit and then it goes back and gets cleaned and someone else can rent it for their event, and it becomes a loop that's sustainable. So good job. But that is also what you want to ask yourself too. Okay, how many statement pieces do I have in the closet that is really just for one thing? Now, I'm not saying give away all your dresses. Honestly, you want to keep the dresses that bring you joy. It's Marie Kondo. Does this spark joy? I have dresses that I don't wear as often, but I definitely, and I'm going to show you a few of my spoils in just a minute, just to show you that it can be done. But those are the rules, basically. You know, watch your impulse. You know, do I really need this? Wait 24 hours. Does it pop back into my head? No, it doesn't. Probably don't need it. Avoid duplicates. We're emotional creatures. We buy things because it gives us a high. We might already have 3 of it. You know, also, is it a staple? You know, do I already have this in another form? And how can I make my staples really the universal pieces? Third thing, pop those tags. Pop those tags. If you are buying something new, organic, have it be organic. Check Good On You to make sure that it's sustainable, that they're paying people a living wage, and that it's something that can biodegrade. You know, linen, hemp, look for hemp. Hemp's a big one. Organic cotton, silk. Silk's gorgeous. I've gotten so many pretty silk tops for $15, $20 off eBay. You always wash. I always wash. Everything gets washed. But, you know, it doesn't have to be. For $15 on secondhand, you're giving it a new life. The next thing is, you know, buy secondhand. Buy used, buy vintage. It's gorgeous, guys. It gives you a sense of individualism. You are extending the life. You're preventing it from going. If anybody pays money for something, that is not going into a landfill. And you can take solace in that. And there's definitely videos to talk about how to do it. You know, if you're new to the online market of it, either that or if you like the treasure hunt of thrift stores, excellent way. Buy secondhand, buy secondhand, buy secondhand. It looks fabulous and it saves the planet in so many ways. And then last but not least, 30 wears test. Wear it 30 times. You know, use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. If you cannot wear that garment at least 30 times, and you can have a little bit more leniency on your pretty dresses, you know, as long as you're not buying 20 pretty dresses or, you know, again, aviator jumpsuit. I'm just going to use that as my hashtag, aviator jumpsuit. I would love to wear it, but I'm not wearing that to the grocery store. So I have to, you know, think about it before I buy it and commit to that. You know, also, can you do it another way? Is there a top that looks like an aviator that, you know, gives you the same vibe without it being full, you know, trend alert? And then, you know, last but not least, know your body type. Know your body type. Know your body type. Know the colors that look good on you. Know the fashions that look good on you. If, you know, if maxi dresses are the thing, but they don't, you know, a perfect example, Bermuda shorts. Those are huge right now, and Bermuda shorts cut you off at the knees. They draw attention to the widest part of your body. They are not flattering, not at all. And you can absolutely look at all the videos on YouTube that talk about those fashion rules. So know your body type, know your color chart, know your skin tone, watch all the videos, and those are fun. If you're a fashionista, watching those videos about fashion rules, how to style, you know, like in a minute I'll talk about color blocking. There are rules to that too. Where the two colors meet draws a line across your body, so you have to know your body type to make it look good. And all of those things, all of those elements combined make you very original, make you very stylish, and very environmentally friendly. And you're Instagram ready, and you're not hurting the planet. So now I'm just going to leave off. I appreciate it. I know it's been a long video, but I'm going to leave off with some of the styles. This has been my new commitment. After watching RushTok and getting all freaked out, the outfit of the day, the OOTD with, oh my God, the amount of Shein. I'm sorry, guys. I cringe. I cringe. No fast fashion. Just no, 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 no. Danger, Will Robinson. I have started posting on my personal page with my family and friends an eco outfit of the day. It is an ECO-OOTD, and what I do is I go through the 5 rules that I just talked about. What is it made of? How many times have I worn it? How much I paid for it? Is it secondhand? All of those things. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of the images because completely trendy. So first off, that jacket that I was telling you about, the trench coat. This was from about 3 seasons ago. I have a refurbished record player from the 70s. I was listening to the record of Madonna's "I'm Breathless." It's the Dick Tracy songs inspired from the 90s, has Vogue on it. And I really loved the bright colors. I loved the Dick Tracy, come in Dick Tracy, the jacket. I was also a huge, when I saw Rita Ora wearing this wonderful jacket in Detective Pikachu, the video, Carry On, I think it is. I loved that jacket and I was really jonesing. And again, I'm an environmentalist, but I just, I like to be stylish. You don't have to do this. This jacket was secondhand. It is polyester, but it is from 3 years ago, and we're going to wear it out, make it last. So got it, fashionable jacket. The other thing is that the earrings that I got are clip-on earrings from the 80s. This was another trend that I've seen. Swarovski, I always say this wrong, Swarovski, the crystals, the popular crystals, they're really big, flashy, high quality faceted jewelry. They have a brand new campaign that they've been advertising, and this is all new product, right? But again, I'm a Libra. I like it. I'm like, oh, pretty, right? I was able to find beautiful clip-on earrings that are Swarovski from the 80s. They're more than 20 years old. Their carbon footprint is, 82% less because they're already created and they're from decades ago. And it looks brand new. And the other thing is it's not too over the top. It's a beautiful little earring that I bought secondhand, and I got them for $7. I'm not paying $100 for the new trendy thing, and they're just as vibrant, and it has several colors in it. I can wear it with purples, I can wear it with yellows, I can wear it with that statement trench coat. It looks great, and it looks like I bought it brand new. Also, bridging over to the Swarovski, I fell in love with, and again, I don't want something climbing up my ear because I'm more of an earrings person. Clearly, I've been buying secondhand 80s earrings because I like them. I know they look kind of dynasty. Crystal Covington, cat fight. No, I'm kidding. But on the Swarovski hit, I was really attracted to that whole trend, but I didn't want to spend $100. I don't have that kind of money either, and I wanted it to look trendy. I found magenta earrings. Magenta's kind of been my color. It's crazy. It's funny. the color blocking has been real popular. And I think coming out of a pandemic, I think we all just want to look bright. That's another dopamine thing, is that, wearing bright colors. And that's really not too much my thing. I usually am very neutral and understated, but I've been wearing a whole lot of bright lemon yellow and magenta. And don't worry, it is in my color chart. Again, I'm a star, and my color chart, yep, it's the magenta color right here and the lemon yellow. It's actually the only yellow I really can wear that well. But those two colors, again, I know my body shape. I know it looks good. I went with more of a cropped trench because those look better. But the magenta earrings were not too big, and they were pear-shaped, and I've been attracted to magenta. My other channel is a card reading channel, and it's funny, I looked up the meaning of magenta, and it has a very spiritual meaning. I think I'm like I don't know, the last 2 years have made a lot of changes for all of us. So, but I've been attracted to magenta, and I've been attracted to lemon yellow, and I found these beautiful earrings. And fun fact is that I was kind of looking up the history of Swarovski, and on the back of the magenta pear-shaped earrings, I just really like them. And I got them for, including shipping, it was like $20, which is a little bit more, they retain their value, but it's not like you see a lot of these, those earrings, the new campaigns for these earrings can be like $300. And they're good size without, they're about 3/4 of an inch without being huge, which, for my age group and the way I dress, yes, I want to wear a bright color, but I don't want to look like a stoplight walking down the street. But on the back of the earrings, it said SAL, which is Swarovski America Limited. And that, I actually looked that up, and that is a stamp from earrings made with them between 1977 and 1988. And the earrings were cost effective, they're beautiful, they look brand new, and they are from more than 3 decades ago. Completely clean. When they come in, I clean them good. I disinfect the posts with alcohol. Gorgeous, guys. I feel so trendy. And people will look at my ears and be like, oh, is that the new? Nope, you can't really find these anymore. I got them vintage. The other thing is that I did get, maxi dresses have been very popular, and it's summertime, and not only does cotton breathe real well, found a beautiful, and again, it's funny, I feel kind of like a flower. I bought some flowers. I bought some peonies, which are these beautiful magenta color, and I found a dress that is former Anthropologie, retails for like $300. I found a dress for $20. And it's got a very full skirt. It's got like 3 levels to the skirt, 100% cotton. It breathes like a dream, and the way that it's cut is not unflattering. It's so pretty. Gosh, guys, I feel like a flower wearing that dress. So, and then, the color blocking, before it started getting real hot, I found a beautiful magenta sweater. I wore it with jeans, dark blue jeans, and I followed the color scheme of color blocking, and it turned out phenomenal. And I could probably wear those new magenta earrings with that top as well. The other thing is that a lot of the 80s trends, again, well, it's Y2K. You can go on a secondhand site and find the style of what you're looking for inexpensively. Again, there's hallmarks you want to look for, because the stuff is not new, so you don't want to you don't want to buy anything that's also in the same vein. You don't want to buy anything that's stinky. That's the other thing about synthetic fibers. If someone has worn these clothes before, it might be a consideration. So that's the other nice thing about organic fibers. If you buy them secondhand, they usually launder much better. You can get them clean easier. But what I've been doing is I've been posting these outfits on my social media. I actually found a tank top that was from the 80s, 100% cotton. It's in that Valentino pink. That's been the other thing, is that bright Barbie pink has been like the color of the season trend wise. You know, Valentino's show had it, and you see all these people wearing it. I found an Ocean Pacific, which is also a no longer out there, you know, clothing line from the 80s, 100% cotton. It fits like a dream. It's that trendy color. I looked phenomenal. It was a hot day. My skin could breathe, you know. What I do is I do an eco outfit of the day. And the eco outfit of the day, it says it's the same thing as the OOTD on the RushTok. It's the same thing as the influencers. It's saying, look at what I got. Look at how good I look. Look at how individual this is. Look at how reflective of my personal style this is. Except I go with the eco factors, which is, what is this made of? This top is 100% cotton. Did you buy it secondhand? Yes, I did. Is it trendy? Yes, it's 80s chic, 80s chic. It's OP. You don't see that anymore from, you know, from the 80s, and look at how great it looks on me. The next thing I say is okay, what are those shorts made of? Oh, those are 99% cotton from Target, Massimo. You know, how many times have you worn them? The shorts I've worn at least 20 times. So hashtag 30 wears rule. That is how you get eco-friendly in a modern way. You don't have to look like you're under a rock. You don't have to not be trendy. You're representing the fashion trends that are being recycled anyway. No one else is going to be wearing what you're wearing because you're wearing it and you're rocking it. And you're supporting those factors that reduce your carbon footprint, serve in the long run, and stop these clothes from being either produced in a detrimental way or thrown away in prematurely. So, and you save money. So all of those factors cover everything we're talking about. And I know this has been a longer video. I didn't expect it to be this long. I will definitely timestamp everything, but I'm excited. This is how I shop. I shop secondhand. I look for the organic fibers, and I'm loving it, guys. And I'm posting these dresses. I'm posting everything on my thrift thread. I'm showing it to my family. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's loving it. Again, I'm rocking the 80s lately and a little bit of 90s, but I think I look darn good, and I can do it with not a completely clear conscience, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, and it does make a difference. And this is how you make a difference and how you advocate for better change in the future. But I would love to see what you think of this video. Do you think any of these steps are helping? Do you think, is there anything else that we can do differently to make it better? And more importantly, what's your eco outfit of the day? Go ahead, show me. Go ahead and show me that. You know, what's it made of? How many times have you worn it? Did you buy it firsthand? Is it organic? Let's talk. You know, also, you know, if you get a chance, you know, check out on your social media platforms these influencers who are about slow fashion, who are about environmental sustainability with fashion, because they're very smart people. And I'm touched about, you know, the advocacy that we're moving forward with, because the next generation is eco-conscious. They are, and we're gonna make such positive change with that kind of attitude. But I'm so glad to see you guys, and thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.